scholars, welcome to another math exploration with Mrs. Iredale. Today what we're going to look at is representing fractions on a number line. This would be for students that were just starting to learn about fractions, or for other students that would like a review on how to do representations of fractions on a number line. First thing I want you to think about are numbers in general. When I put this screen up here, what do you automatically start to do? If you were me, or if I were you, what I'm thinking is I would say, oh, what are those things? They're Reese's Cups. But how many are there? There are 6. This is the reason we have numbers, so we can quantify things. If I have that up there, you know it's 1. If I have that up there, you immediately think to yourself, that's 3. If Miss Iredale, though, didn't have a world with numbers, and I said, please give me some Reese's Cups, you may give me 1, you may give me 6, but what if I wanted 3? Numbers are to help us quantify things. That's why they exist. So let's think about the number 1 and all the different ways we know to quantify it or to represent it. Well, we know we can write it. This is just a 1 on a dice, but everybody knows when they see that single dot that we're talking about 1 unit. We can have 1 whole item. That could have been a square, a triangle, whatever, but it's 1 unit. And we also know how to represent 1 on a number line. A number line, something we've been seeing since we were in kindergarten, is a line that goes for infinity. And that's what these 2 arrows represent. It never ends going this way or that way. So I like to put stop points on my number line. And a stop point tells you where you begin and where you end. Well, I made this a very simple number line. This represents the number 1. On a tape measure, which is similar to what we would have seen in school, the numbers might go on and on and on. Notice that this tape measure is in inches, and that's why the intervals between the numbers are closer together. So if we can put 1 on a number line, how do we put a fraction on a number line? Let's think about all the different ways we know to represent a fraction. We can write it out as 1/3. We can represent 1 whole and then cut it into 3 equal parts, and each of those parts would represent 1/3. We could cut some type of polygon or shape up into thirds, and we would know the shaded part would represent 1 out of 3, or 1/3. But how do we put 1/3 on a number line? Well, let's go back to the same number line that we had. And I want you all to think about, while I'm writing these numbers, how would we place 1/3, 2/3, and 3/3 on a number line? Well, we know we have to cut this whole into how many parts? 3. And 3 is not an easy number to divide. But what you would want to do is you would want to eyeball it. And you would want to try to create 3 equal parts within the whole number 1. And these are going to represent your fraction. What's my denominator going to be? We know that the denominator is going to be 3 because we cut the whole into 3 equal parts. Now, when we start defining or identifying these, you ask yourself, okay, I'm at the starting point. I haven't even made it onto the number line. I'm still at 0. I have 0/3. But when we make that first jump, we have now gone 1/3 of the way in the race. That first point is the 1/3 point. Then we take a second jump. We've made it 2/3 of the way in the race. The final jump takes us to the 3/3 point, which is the same thing as the whole number 1. Okay? So think about when you plot fractions on a number line that it is the equal distance that you've separated your whole unit up into. Okay? And if this were fourths, we would have cut the whole number apart into 4 equal parts. That's it for today, kids. Have a good day. Happy learning.